Hey everybody, welcome to Business Buzz. And I'm really excited today to talk about a topic that is so important when we're not just coming to people on video, but now it's critical. Today, what I want to do is I want to talk about how what you wear and how you show up on a call really does reflect you, your brand, your expertise, your intelligence. I mean, unfortunately, we all make quick decisions about what we see. And that's something that we've done since, caveman time to protect ourselves from getting hurt in some way. We make a judgment about something. Are they going to hurt me? Are they okay? Obviously, we're past that. However, in these days, something that might make you look very strong or professional in a real in-person meeting is going to be a little less, it's going to look differently on video. And all you have is what we're looking at right here, okay? So those fabulous shoes that like make you look like you own it, no one's going to see them. All right. So it's all about talking about what can you do in this space to show up as the leader you are. And I'm so excited that I have my good friend and amazing stylist. She's a personal stylist based in NYC. She works with executives, entrepreneurs, people in the media, on television, people who are speakers, what to wear on stage. And she's going to talk to us today about style, about what you can do to market yourself essentially using your style. So I just want to thank Tania Sterl of Sterl on Style for being here today. So welcome. And why don't you tell me a little bit, I mean, I know, but tell everybody else a little bit about yourself, Tania.
Sure. Thanks so much, Melinda. Happy to be here. So I was actually a fashion designer for 18 years. Mm-hmm. So I designed collections for women's wear right here in New York City. And a lot of the designs that I created for the designer that I was working for at the time, the stylist would come to our showroom from like Fox TV, What Not to Wear, Deborah Norville of Inside Edition. So back then I was more behind the scenes designing the collections. Mm-hmm. But the collections that ended up being worn on prominent women, women leaders, women that were visible, and also just, women, working like real estate agents who are like, oh, I'm on my feet all day, just make me look good. So it's that 18 years of fashion design experience that brought me to, as a designer, we would do trunk shows. So I would show up at the boutiques with the collection. Mm-hmm. And that's what excites me about fashion. It's not about, oh, this is what's trendy or, this is the latest it bag. Like that's all fun too. But it's really about the confidence that the right clothing can give a person. Mm-hmm. The right cut, the right shape, the right attitude, the right message. Right, so yeah. My mission as a personal stylist is to really help each individual find and craft a personal style that speaks to their individuality, their personality, their profession, so they can, blend into their industry, yet stand out as the expert that they are.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's interesting because when I thought about this particular topic, it really ties into marketing because, the colors you wear, a lot of people show up like in a certain color and that's kind of their signature. But in acting, as an actor, the clothing you wear really does inform your mood, how you sit, how you stand. And, based on a different period of time, whether you're wearing, flip-flops or you're wearing very pointy, period shoes. And what I really want to talk a little bit about is how what you wear affects your mindset. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So they've actually done a lot of brain science studies around this. And you can Google it. It's there's a term called enclothed cognition.
Ooh.
So it actually is rooted and proven in brain science now. And enclothed cognition is the effect that what you wear has on your own self-perception and how others perceive you.
Mm-hmm.
So with, many of us with the, situation that's happening globally right now, many of us are finding ourselves working from home for the first time. Myself, I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. I've always blended work from home to, going into New York City, into Manhattan, being in the stores, shopping for clients, or being in clients' homes and closets. So I've been a little adjusted to working from home, but now I'm working from home all the time. So for those of you listening who are working from home for the first time, it is really key to change the outfit in order to change your day.
Mm-hmm.
So, when the news first happened, of course, just many of us were just rolling out of bed trying to figure out what was going on with ourselves and our lives. But then all of a sudden it was, wait, I'm working from home. The husband's around, the kids are here, or I'm living alone and it's very isolating, but I have to show up for these Zoom calls and these video conferences. I've heard things from people of, I see my coworkers now more, like at huge companies and corporations. I see my coworkers more now than I did when I worked at the company. So it's really asking yourself, how do you want to be seen?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to be perceived? What message are you sending to your coworkers, to the person you're reporting to your boss? Or maybe you're the leader of the startup. Maybe you're the CEO of the startup, or maybe you're partner of that law firm. And it's how are you showing up to set the example to your employees, to your clients? You really have to ask yourself that. And right now, it's really key to show up looking confident, looking rested, looking, looking of value. So these are just the questions to ask yourself so that you get out of your pajamas. Like, for example, I'm a personal stylist, so I'm a little styly looking. But if I had shown up for this interview, just like, oh, hey, Melinda, we're gonna let's talk about style. And I just showed up in my bathrobe with my little readers without any makeup on, I would have a totally different perception. It would look like, wow, she didn't really care about showing up as a stylist today for this interview.
Well, not only that, but I wouldn't hire you to style me if I see you and you look like that. I'm like, well, I don't know if I like her style, even so. And I think that it's a really good point that it does, it reflects your value, it reflects your professionalism, your expertise. I mean, it's such a not silly. A lot of people, when you say your style or you talk about clothing, fashion, in any way related to business, it's like, oh, that's the frosting on the cake. That's the window dressing. That doesn't matter. I am a professional. I know my stuff, blah, blah, blah. But like we started saying at the beginning, we all judge people, even if we've known them for years and years, by what you show up. How you show up is how we perceive you. And, crap, I had a really good thought and it just went pew.
No, it's all good. But it's what you were saying about some people think style is silly or superficial.
Yeah. Right.
Whereas your style is your calling card.
Yes.
Your style is that first impression. Mm-hmm. And beyond the first impression, how will you be remembered? So right now in digital world and online, I mean, you know this, you help people to build their messaging for their websites, for their LinkedIn. So in 1 minute, someone could read a tagline and not be excited about it. I am a financial advisor. Oh, okay. So are a million other people, right? So how you help people craft that tagline, that language to differentiate and make them stand out. It's the same thing with our personal style. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean you always need like a bright, flashy style. I happen to be very vibrant and dynamic and energetic. So I like wearing bright colors and fun prints. Mm-hmm. It's finding what makes you unique, your approach. Are you the humorous one? Are you the grounding, serious one? And those words can give cues into it. So I agree with you. Style isn't silly or superficial. It's a communication tool.
Yes.
And it can be that click, 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 that moment of, oh, I want to pause on their profile on LinkedIn and get to know them more, connect with them. Or, ooh, I want to get to know them more because of the website. Or it's the amount of clicks that you realize are not happening.
Right.
Or why you're being passed over.
Mm-hmm.
So really use your style as a marketing tool to be seen, to stand out, and to capture that attention.
Well, can you, I know that you've got a couple of examples, and I think one
Yeah,
that relates exactly to that. So
absolutely. Yeah, I'm just going to
love to
pull
see
up.
some examples, because I feel like it is easy to look at somebody who has a generally professional looking picture, or generally looks fine, but to see the difference between what they originally were wearing, or what they usually wear, and then some of the styles and colors and things that you choose and help them to find. And this isn't necessarily, you're not expecting people to go to spend $1,000 on a wardrobe. You
No,
people's closets to
absolutely. And I
find.
think that's, yeah, and I think that's one thing really key right now is um, everyone's in a different situation right now.
Yeah.
Some of my clients that work in finance and law, they're busier than ever, right?
Yeah.
They're working in cybersecurities. Like one of my clients is a head cybersecurities, one of the few women in the field,
Wow.
and she's busier than ever. So we have these three categories of people: of the ones that nothing has changed, they're still
Yeah.
busy working, they still have their jobs. Then we have, unfortunately, the people that may have been laid off or lost their jobs
Mm-hmm.
because of the pandemic, what's happening recently. And then we have some people in, like real estate agents, who's buying or selling homes, or who's able to physically go show homes. So
Right.
it's like they still have the job, but it's on pause. So it is really smart right now to think about like your budget, and to think about looking at your wardrobe a little differently. So I think what I'll do is I'll go through the slides for some
Yeah.
examples,
Okay.
and then I'll give some tips at the end of how to just look at your own wardrobe
Yeah.
and curate it a little bit differently depending on your needs right now. Because I agree with you, it's not about, and actually that goes the same with working with a personal stylist right now. It's just meeting people where they're at, giving them tips like this, and just helping them to choose those 5 great outfits from their closet
Mm-hmm.
that are the right color, shape, print, so that they keep showing up online.
Yeah.
So just going to run through some examples here, like,
Yeah.
and we were talking about being seen as the expert and getting people to want to connect with you. So number one is make sure you have a profile picture on your LinkedIn. So if you had gotten a request from someone to connect, who would you connect with? The person on the left or the person on the right? I don't know about you, if you've gotten, messages recently, and when you don't see a picture, that's the first break of trust.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
true.
want how you're showing up online in your, not just your profile picture, but you want people to want to connect with you. So number one, have a picture up and make sure it's make sure it's relevantly current,
Right.
right? So
Right.
this is a client that I styled for her new profile shot. And she conveys a very different message from her profile picture before to now. She wanted to be seen as the owner of her boutique website firm. She designs websites and logos and graphic art. So before, yeah, she looked like the, clever, young, creative, but she really wanted to look like, boss lady CEO.
Yeah.
So see how subtle the differences are between just the top, the color, the hair, the makeup.
Yeah.
And do make sure, preferably, that your profile picture is in color, not black and white.
Yeah.
And a little bit of, makeup goes a long way. Like I do a signature red lip just because I'm fair and I feel like it makes me pop on camera. But a little jewelry, a little bit of color, it's just going to make you look vibrant and healthy. And also color pops online. Melinda, you were an actress. Like what colors did they put the main actresses in?
Well, so there's a difference between red carpet and on screen and on stage. So the character you're playing, that the colors are determined, or the wardrobe, the style, all is part of the character. And so it just depended on what the piece was in terms of what they put someone in. Although to your point, like in a big musical or something, say the woman who is, let's say, Cinderella, and there's lots of other people on stage with her, they're going to light her differently. They're going to
Yes.
put her in, even if she's in rags, she's going to have a small detail or, color that sets her apart.
Yeah, it's that spotlight. And the
Mhm.
main character is one of my friends, who's also uh, she's a performer, and she's done some extra work on television. As a performer, she's the artist main stage, but she was doing some. And the main characters on stage are in red, right?
Yeah.
Because that's eye catching. And then if you're the extra, you want to fade into the background, and you're in dull colors.
Hmm.
So, right, you don't want to dull yourself out online. So make sure that your profile picture is in color. People are more likely, it's just going to attract your eye online,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
just going to pop, and people are going to want to pause and go, ooh, who's that?
Right.
So see the difference between
Yeah.
black and white and color.
Wow.
And then the camera loves color. Think about what newscasters wear.
Yeah.
Think about what your favorite morning, TV show hosts wear. The
Mhm.
camera loves color. So make sure you're showing up online, on your virtual interviews, in your meetings. One of my clients works in finance. So what do you think of when you think of finance?
Black,
Black,
gray.
right? Black, navy, gray. And
Right.
she was showing up on her conference calls. And I said, oh, what are you wearing? She said, oh, black, all black, my black blouses and my white blouses.
Oh,
And I was like, honey, what about all those beautiful, colorful blouses I've shopped for you that are sitting right in your closet?
Yeah.
So you can see, like, I'm wearing a print blouse. It's
Yeah.
not too busy, just has some color.
Wow.
But if I did all black,
Yeah. It washes you out, first of all, like your skin tone, um, you just look pale.
I
And
think it's also a little bit my lighting, but it's
oh
all,
yeah, the lighting,
And
obviously, but yeah.
and the thing about black is a color that absorbs light.
Yes. Yes. That is something I learned as an actor as well. It's like, and for me, it was never that important. I mean, the costume designer was always the one picking the colors. However, when I went to have headshots done, I always thought about color. Like, what is the color that I want to show up in? Because
Yes.
black absorbs light.
Yeah. So black absorbs light. So it's going to pull and drain color out of your face, no matter what your skin tone is, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're fair or medium or dark skin, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to pull color out of your face. And then the other no
Is white.
is white. Especially, you have to pay attention to what's my background. If your background is white and you're wearing a white shirt, you're going to just be like a floating head, disappearing.
Yeah.
So just with my client, I was able to just line up, I did a video call with her, and I was like, all these colors, purple, pink, orange, yellow, blue, pull those blouses from your closet, put them in the front. This way they're just on rotation every time. So you're going to want to avoid all black or all white on camera. If you do own a lot of black in your wardrobe, there's nothing wrong with wearing, a black blazer, but make sure that it's buttoned at the waist so it creates a nice V, so it doesn't look too bulky. And look what a difference.
Yeah.
Where is your eye going right now?
Yeah. I mean,
right?
each one of them looks like you go right to their faces because the color is drawing you up towards them, so yeah, it makes a huge difference.
And just what you said, Melinda, what we started with was, now we're speaking from here, right? Business from the waist up.
You're voguing.
So we want to frame the face, eyewear, jewelry, collar, blouse, color. We want to draw the eye up and frame the face, right? Because we're communicating with our eyes and our mouths. So just what you were saying, it's all about this frame.
Yeah.
So just see the difference between a neutral color
Oh.
and a jewel tone color.
And is the picture on the left, is that, or maybe it's on, I don't know. Yeah, picture on the left, is that black and white?
No, it's actually in color, but it's just, it's a low res. And
Uh,
it's just the lighting was a little dull and then the top was dull.
yeah.
On the right, this was natural lighting. This was natural daylight, this headshot
Wow.
was taken.
Wow.
And then I styled her in this beautiful jewel tone. So just seeing what the difference between what I call a power color. You know, people think black and white, those are colors. No, a power color, an accent color,
Right.
a juicy color, because color should energize you and the viewer, right? Red is action. Yellow is happiness and joy. Orange is optimism. Blue is soothing and calming. So you can also, we were talking about how color affects your mood. You can also, you know, change your mood and change other people's mood. Every time I've shown up online in a yellow top, people are like, "Ooh, you look so bright and shiny and happy." And we all need a little happy right now.
Yeah.
It is dismal out there.
It is. It is. And I think that, you know, we always talk about you never have a second chance to make a first impression.
Yes.
However, your second and third and fifth impression can blow that first one away. So
Yes.
It's never about, oh, I showed up in my bathrobe the first time on that call. It's about who are you coming back on the call with next time? Who are you next time? And I know that for me, it's natural when you're listening to someone speak, especially in a conference call sort of situation or video, conference, there's going to be all those little squares and people think, oh, well, I'm just this big. Well, guess what? Some people are seeing it on their large monitor. So you're going to show up big in their life. So you think, oh, it doesn't matter that, I don't have any makeup on and I'm not, and we're talking about women, but I got to say, guys, it matters if you comb your hair. It matters if you shave. I mean, you have to show up just as sharp as you would in a in-person meeting.
Yeah,
And,
the grooming is key. And what's interesting happening with grooming right now is with the salons and haircut places being closed, people are changing their look right now. Like, yeah. Some men out there, they're just like going for the buzz cut or growing the beard out. Yes. I have some clients that are letting the grays, show through. So think about your hair, your makeup, your grooming, but still keep it neat. Guys, if you're growing out the beard, still keep it, neat and groomed. But that's what's going to be interesting, because usually with personal branding, you want to keep some sort of consistency with your image. But we're going through this very interesting transition and change right now where people are going to be emerging out of this and deciding, you know what, I am going to go all gray. This is the new me, or I'm going to keep the beard, or I'm going to keep my hair a little longer, or I'm going to buzz it all off. Right. So there is something to be said right now about, there's a little bit of forgiveness if you're showing up looking a little differently than you usually do. Or what I would suggest is if you are in the interview process, if you don't feel 100% confident to be on a video call for that interview because you haven't been able to make it to the salon or the haircut or the hair isn't right, opt for a phone call. Opt for the phone call interview. Let your profile picture speak for you. And opt for a phone call. This way you don't make the wrong impression, the wrong first impression. True. On that video interview. Because to your point before, Melinda, like you do only have one shot to make that best first impression. So it's kind of the nature of the game right now.
Yes. And I also feel like people have to adjust. So let's say they don't have the option of a phone call. So a lot of interviews, they want to see you on, they want to meet you. And especially these days, I mean, this is going to go for college students. This is for, students, high school students going to college students looking to find work. There's just or go to graduate school. A lot of people are going to be expecting to do a video interview with you. And, you and I were talking a little bit about women who color their hair. So, the joke is like in 2 weeks, everyone's going to know your real hair color. And
right.
So I think that you still have to show up with your best self and know that you can explain. You can say, you know, hey, this is it. This is my style for the shelter in place. You know, I
Yes, the sheltering in place style.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a couple little tricks around that too. There is like a L'Oreal root spray if you want just something temporary.
right.
For the women out there, there's a L'Oreal root spray just to give yourself a little touch up in the meantime. But if you don't feel 100% confident with your image online, absolutely you can opt for a phone call and or if you do a phone call or a Zoom call, I'll do it at the end. We'll share a video picture. I just want to get through the
Oh
slides
yeah,
because we have
sorry.
about 5 minutes left. And I don't know if we have anyone live online. Is this streaming on LinkedIn or is this streaming on Facebook?
It's not streaming on LinkedIn or Facebook. It is on Zoom.
Oh, we're live on Zoom. Okay.
So we're
So,
good. Just go ahead.
okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't know if we were going to open it up to questions at the end.
Oh, we will.
Okay, perfect. So a lot of people ask me about prints. Are we allowed to wear prints online? So just gonna finish it up with some do's and don'ts. What I'm finding interesting is I'm seeing more and more women on TV, newscasters, the morning shows wearing prints.
Yeah.
So you're totally allowed to wear prints. I'm wearing one today. This is my CBS newscaster. It's interesting. I'm noticing the newscaster. I'm watching her lately, and she's in like a black jacket or a solid. So I'm thinking she's working from her own wardrobe at home because she doesn't have the regular wardrobe stylist when she's on set. So this was taken like, you know, before things started to change, but she's wearing a beautiful print. So, and it's also a way to express your personality.
Yeah.
So a little bit of print goes a long way. Make sure it's kind of a mid floral, not too tiny and busy, not too large and distracting. What you're going to want to avoid are these busy black and white prints. They can look very dizzying and distracting on camera.
Yeah.
Like I love this blouse, but because there's so much white in it with the little black dot, it's going to get a little distracting. Now, if there's a little more black and a little less, it wouldn't be so bad. But just make sure what you're wearing isn't distracting.
Right.
You just want to make sure you're showing up and it's attractive, not distracting. So avoid a lot of mixed busy prints. Like I think the woman on the left with the mixed prints, she's fabulous for live and in person, but that could create some visual distraction online.
Oh no, in an intimate, you know, thing like we are right now. No, that would be too much. Too much.
Yeah. And even, yeah, exactly. So just a little bit of do's and don'ts. You're allowed to wear print, but avoid those really tiny, busy black and white prints. Because like you said, we're either in a square this big or a square this big, and it could get dizzying. Have your eyewear be a statement. And like you said, this goes for ladies and gentlemen. It's great to show up. I actually don't need glasses to see far. But I've been doing so many video calls. So I actually have like a variety of glasses that I wear. But again, you want them to complement what you're wearing. Like I could have shown up in these. They're a little more statement, but because my blouse is very busy in a statement, I don't want people to be like, where am I looking? Am I looking at her glasses and her blouse? So you want to just create you want to create like a focal point, but glasses are a great way to express your personality.
Yeah.
And like you said, because we're framing here, and just make sure like they complement your outfit. Like I've got these cute little readers, but they're brown and have leopard print, and then I'm wearing a print blouse. It's just too distracting. So I just went for my simple frames.
Yeah.
So, and these are like, you do this with language and marketing. You do this with language, words, and marketing. What are those defining words? So when you look at these women, the woman in the blue, right? She pops, she's dynamic, she's interesting. The woman on the left, she looks a little bit more
She looks like a financial advisor, right? You would trust her with your money. I don't know about the woman in blue. She looks like she would go, you know, she'd be fun to hang out with.
Right, exactly. She's probably in a more creative type of career. So these are the visual cues that you can use your style for. And just what you said, what is the message you want to convey? How do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be taken seriously? Do you want to be known as the creative one? Do you want to, you want your value to come across as the expert? So really take, of all the things we don't have control of lately, okay, we haven't been able to get our hair cut or our nails done possibly, but we do have control over what we wear. So
Yes.
make that choice count of how you want to be seen.
Oh my God, this is one of my favorites of the two that you have.
Well, you can also create uniqueness with color and that cluster of pins. She loves to collect her grandmother's vintage pins. So think of jewelry, right? Keep it simple. Online, you don't want anything too big or flashy.
Right.
But you were able to create a really unique look. This is her new profile picture. And she happened to be job searching online on LinkedIn. And once she put the new profile picture up, she got so much more response. She got response from a company outside of New York City that was opening an office in New York.
Wow.
So really think of those unique details of how you're can differentiate yourself, because bottom line is dressing better is better for business. You're going to get seen for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You're going to land that dream job. You're going to, go on to get that promotion. So it's just better for bottom line. You're going to make more money. You're going to get the job and make more money.
Yes.
I'm just going to do a real quick do's and don'ts of, right, as we're sitting at our laptops, you want natural light against your face, not coming from behind you. You want to sit upright, have the camera level. You're going to want to wear a hint of color. So avoid being on the floor, right, being slouchy. You're not going to want to see all this distracting things in the background.
Right.
You're going to want, I have really large windows behind me. So
Oh,
see what happens?
Right.
If the windows are behind me, I just completely disappear. So you're going to want that natural light and keep a relatively, neat and clean background.
Right.
Some people are using those Zoom backgrounds, but just make sure they're not distracting.
I saw one
Have you
last
seen
night.
them?
Yes, one went last night. I think the person thought that it would be soothing or something, but it looked like she had literally been shrunk down and put into a patch of grass. So like there was grass.
A grassy one. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
the
anyway.
Grassy background.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the blades of grass. It's one of the standard ones. So just be thoughtful about the background. I was on a call with a woman. She had like beachy waves.
Yeah.
And it was actually, but it was soothing. And she's known for like, she loves the beach and she loves to travel and she loves the water and the waves. And she's a motivational speaker.
Okay.
So for her, it worked. But if
Yeah.
you're like, I'm a lawyer and I'm at the beach, it might be a little disconnect.
Yeah.
Right? So just be conscientious about the background. And the theme for today is don't wear your pajamas. So show up being presentable, right? A little hint of color, a little bit of print. If you're letting the grays grow out, just own it and be proud of it. Just show up fresh and ready. And I will give credit to Alyssa Peak of Peak Photography. I work closely with her as a personal branding photographer. I style my clients to bring out what makes them unique in their personal brand, and Alyssa Peak really captures their personality in their headshots.
Yes.
So we'll open it up to questions. I just wanted to, thank you and to thank everyone for joining us on the call. We'll share the recording. And right now, because it isn't about going out and buying a lot of clothes, it's just, I call it the top 5 tops. Like, what are the top 5 things you're going to wear from the waist up? So for your viewers and for, everyone that joined us in the recording, again, I'm Tania Sterl of Sterl & Style. You can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter. I'm always posting my relevant styling tips.
Oh no, I hope it's catching you because you just paused.
Did I pause? Are we having a little?
Hold on 1 sec.
Sure.
Okay, try again. Yeah. Well, I don't know whether it's going to come through on the recording at all. So it might be fine on the recording, but just now I lost you for a second.
Yeah.
My internet was unstable.
Yes.
So you were saying that you're on pretty much every social media platform, and you're always sharing tips. I mean, I know that on LinkedIn, I always see your Tuesday tips. I'm sure you put those on others too. But one thing I want to emphasize, because last week we talked about newsletters on the show, and you have a fabulous newsletter. And that was one of the reasons
Thank you.
started our conversation together, is I had saved one that came out like the first week that things shut down. And it was all about color and about how the color you wear changes your mood, but it can also really help people that are, seeing you in it. So it could be very soothing for someone, or very, like you said, the yellow, uplifting. So anyway, I really hope everybody will go and sign up for your newsletter, because the tips you send are really fantastic.
I appreciate that. So you can go to my website, sterlonstyle.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter there. And also you can contact me through my website. I have a contact form on my homepage. Just contact me. We'll schedule a complimentary call. We can do it via call. We can do it virtual. I can see you live and in person. And what I want to know is, what's your current situation now? Are you currently employed? Are you looking for employment? Or are you an entrepreneur and you're the name and face of your own brand, and you want to continue to connect and build your audience through video, through future speaking engagements? We'll talk about your current role, your future goals, and how you can use your personal style and create that to just tweak it so that it really speaks to you. And right now it's really about, let's take a peek into your closet. Let's find those top 5 power outfits that represent you and your personal brand. Like Melinda, you showed up so beautiful today in your blue and your print and your necklace.
Well, the pressure was on, because I'm not going to get on with you and show up looking, like I was putting it all together, like, oh, I hope this works. And before everybody joined, we were talking, because I wasn't sure if this was going to work on camera, because off camera it looked a little purpley and it didn't look like it quite went. So
but you did it right. You have a beautiful background. You are Melinda Thomas of Melinda Thomas Creative.
I am.
You have some beautiful artwork behind you. You have color. You have a beautiful necklace. So you're wearing your personal brand. You're showing up as creative and warm and friendly and opening. So so everyone on the call today, take a tip from Melinda Thomas as well.
You're so sweet. Well, thank you so much. I don't see any questions in the chat right now. So I will, anyone who is watching on the replay, put your questions either into the comments online, or just directly email Tania or myself. So either way, we'll connect you. We'll get you hooked up with some good style.
And this was so much fun, Melinda, because I totally admire what you do with branding, marketing, messaging, and words.
Thank you.
Like, you have this way with words and finding just those wonderful, unique points about how to express oneself through, newsletters, the languaging. So I feel like we're this fun dynamic duo, right?
We are.
Messaging on the style. You're so much fun.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Well, thanks again. And thank you to everybody watching. I'm so happy that you can be here today for this. This is so timely. Take these tips and, just look in your closet and start to apply them, and just know that your marketing extends beyond your website. It extends beyond your business card. You are representing your company, your brand. So thank you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next Wednesday. So take care, everybody. Bye.